Hello everyone. This is a Blaupunkt radio cassette alarm clock. Very rare, could not find it anywhere online and did a search for the serial number, which you can see is an HCX-150. It is designed to use 220 to 240 volt on 50 hertz AC. Of course, I'm in a region that uses 120 volts, 60 hertz. And I needed to see if I could get any signs of life from this. So I changed the plug so it would fit my regular voltage outlet here. And it worked. The alarm clock turned on. The cassette turned, but slowly. And one of the radio bands, either AM or FM, was working, but the other one wasn't. And then I came to troubleshoot whether I should change this voltage transformer here, just to see what input goes into there. But turned out it's easier and cheaper just to buy one of these. This is an SW-S12 power converter. This is not using anywhere close to 100 watts, so this is overkill for this application. But the important thing about this particular transformer is it goes both ways. You can plug it into a 117 volt source or 120, and it'll up convert it to double the amount. And if you flip the switch here, it will down convert it. And the nice thing is it'll just accept regular plugs. So I can just plug it in like that. Not a problem at all. So I'm just gonna show you how this works. I'll run it with a multimeter, and then we'll plug this guy in and test it and figure out a few things. I still haven't modified the chip in here, and we're going to talk about that because remember, this is built for 50 hertz and I'm running on 60 hertz, and this chip inside here relies on the AC frequency to keep the timing correct. So let's first look at this power converter and check the voltages. Okay, so I have the power converter here, and it's currently set to the 117 side, which will basically double the voltage. So we're going to plug it in and check. You can see now when we put this in, you can see it's 242. So it basically doubled the voltage. And you can see this thing is just the switch on the other side here. If I flip it the other way, it's just going to reverse this. So it's going to half the voltage. Since I'm using 120, it'll show about 60. If I was plugging in this into 240, it'll cut it down to 120, but let's see. And there we go, 60, pretty much. So that's essentially how this works. It's just a very simple 2-to-1 or 1-to-2 voltage converter, transformer, and that switch, we're going to leave it in this position so it'll double the voltage to 240 roughly, and that'll work with our radio alarm clock. So let's give that a shot. Okay, so we've plugged it in. As you can see over there, it's plugged in and it's working. It's flashing here the time. I'm going to lift this up here and we're going to test the voltages coming out of this. The best spot to test it would be somewhere around here, because I don't want to touch the transformer. It's lower voltage here. So if we touch to these two, one half of the transformer, sorry, it'd be nice if you saw the multimeter, leave it there. One half of the transformer is putting out there, about 8.5 volts. Here's to the other side, 8.5, 8.6, and then red to red is going to be double, about 16 volts. If I can get this to measure properly. Sorry, not 16, more like close to 18, because we're about 8.5, close to 9 on each side. So we remember from the last video that this transformer here, when I measured it last time, it was about half that amount. But now we've doubled it. And so things start working when we do that. So let's try. I'm just going to show you here. We're going to switch this to on. You can hear the AM radio. Not a problem.
When he was healthy, we spoke of hair. By the look Liberal government in
support for Ukraine at the White House. Following a call between the...
Now we have FM. I'm in a basement, so the reception isn't great. But you can hear stuff. Okay, and then we've got tape here. Let's try that out. I might get copyright matched, so I can't play too much of this tape, but here we go. Not a problem at all. Okay, to be or not to be. I don't know what band that is, but it's old. And then let's put this way here. Another one. Okay, sorry. Let me just lower the volume a bit. Try again. Okay, again, hopefully I won't be YouTube matched with that little clip, but the tape works, no problem. So now, to put this back together. However, before I do that, if you recall, there is a chip here, the MM5402N, which is basically the brains of this entire clock, and it's set to keep time based on the to sync it according to the frequency on the AC. It's there's something that's basically reading the AC voltage. That's why we've got an AC voltage going straight into the main board. It's going straight from the transformer directly into the main board and one of these pins, in order for the chip to basically follow the sine wave and essentially get a pulse out of that, and time it counts. Right now it's set to count 50 times so that it knows it's a second. If it, I have to cut one of these pins so that it defaults to the 60 hertz input or timer, so that it actually times it properly. Now we're gonna test this out, and what I'll do is I'm gonna set the time to something easy, and then we're gonna look at my watch here and put it on time lapse. And what we should notice is that 10 minutes on this, or even we can do it easier, 5 minutes on this will be 6 minutes, okay? Because it's counting as if every 50 pulses is a minute or a second, when it should be 60. So you'll see this clock go faster. It'll go 6 minutes while the real time will be 5. So we're gonna test that out in a moment. I'm just gonna put my camera in time-lapse mode. I'm gonna watch what happens. All right, so you can see that it's counted about 12 minutes in 10 minutes real time. I couldn't set the seconds here, so it was could have been any moment that this thing was flipping over to the next minute. But basically, the ratio is 5 to 6. We're gonna look at the chips here, and we're gonna find the pin, and we're going to basically cut it. And before we cut it, we're gonna measure the voltage reference, so you see that it's pulled up or down, whatever the case may be. And then we'll cut the pin, and then we'll redo the test and see how it counts and see if it keeps time more accurately.
Looking at the data sheet for the chip, seen there highlighted in yellow is the pin 36, which is 50 or 60 hertz select input. So let me read this. A programmable prescale counter divides the input line frequency by either 50 or 60 to obtain a 1 hertz time base. This counter is programmed to divide by 60 simply by leaving the 50-60 hertz select pin, which is 36, unconnected. Pull up to VDD, which is 9 volts, is provided by an internal depletion load. Operation at 50 hertz is programmed by connecting the 50/60 hertz select pin 36 to VSS. So if we look at the actual chip itself on the next slide here, you'll see in blue, pin 28 is VSS, which is at 0. The green arrow points to pin 29, which is VDD, which is 9 volts. And the pin 36 is the 50/60 hertz select pin pointed to by the red arrow. Now, normally, right now, this clock radio is set to 50 hertz. So pin 36 should be at 0. It'll be 0 voltage with reference to pin 28, which is VSS. When we cut pin 36 from the board, so that the chip is unconnected at pin 36, it will bring up pin 36 to 9 volts, indicating that it is at 60 hertz select mode. And basically, we're going to do that, measure a few things next, and you'll see after cutting it, we'll measure and the pin voltage at pin 36 will change.
All right, so on this chip, pin number 28 and 29, which roughly correspond to this 3 and 1 right there where the diode is, are VSS and VDD. VSS, I believe, is at 0 and VDD is at 9 volt. And pin 36, which is up here, right after this white band, is basically the 50/60 hertz select. So we're gonna just look at VDD VSS first. Just bear with me here for a second. I'll try to get in and measure. Okay, so that's VSS and VDD. You can see, sorry, you can see they're 9 volts, okay? If we go up to pin 36 here, right there, oops, pin 36, and touch VSS, you'll see that it's set to 0, okay? Now, it says in the schematic or the chip information pamphlet that if you simply disconnect pin 36, it'll default to 60 hertz. It's only when you pull it down to 0, the VSS, it will go to 50 hertz select. So we're gonna cut that pin, okay, using this guy. Hopefully, get in there carefully, cut it, and then we're gonna count again the time on this thing and see what happens. So bear with me. All right, well, it turns out that I couldn't use this guy. I couldn't get it to fit in there. So instead, we got out the Dremel, okay? And I was able to cut the pin. You can see it right there. Now, if we measure this thing and compare it to VSS, so here, remember, that's VSS versus VDD, 9 volt. Compare it to VSS now, it's up at 9 volts. Remember before it was at 0, the pin on the chip is now at 9. So it means that now when we start the clock again, I'm gonna set it and time it again, and it should be at the correct time. All right, so it's pretty obvious now that it is going at the right rate. We've got 10 minutes elapsed on the clock radio and 10 minutes elapsed in real time. So that did the trick. Let's just go over the board one more time here. And I'll show you. So that's the chip that we dremeled off right there, the pin. And if needed, that can always be put back, sorry, right here. That can be soldered back to that little tab there. But for now, we'll leave it open. Let's look at the board here. Okay, so if we recall, main chip, this is activated when you hit record by this push tab right there on the cassette mechanism, which is right there. That's the speaker. This is the button board. I changed the belt. We hooked in the spring because the eject thing wasn't coming up. And that's basically it. Lots of caps, resistors, some trim pots, more caps and resistors. Don't know what that is. I see. Maybe an amplifier. I don't know. I can't see any codes on it. Again, some inductors, capacitors, diodes. These are antenna coils, it looks like. Some other kind of maybe tuning capacitor there. I'm not really sure. That's our transformer. I'm not going to touch it. Okay, there was a couple more ICs here. They could be related to the FM. I'm going to look that up later. That's an NEC, Japan micro or UPC 1222C K1Z19B or KIZI19B, not sure. And there's another one there, a TBA 820M by what looks like SGS maybe, 88336. And we'll see what that is as well. Okay, so that's essentially the entire board. I did not want to open this up and take it apart. Now, I did notice a few jumpers here. There's a J15, a J16, so on. They may have been jumpers related to this select. So instead of mangling the chip here, there might have just been an easy way to cut this thing. I do see test points here. I'm not really sure what that is. SP, SPAM, SW. I'm assuming those are test points, but I'm not really sure. They're interesting looking things. But in any case, we're going to put this back together. Now that I know the time is working fine, we'll close it up. I want to just see if I can fix this eject mechanism, because as you can see, it still doesn't hold on, but if you push it the right way, see, it stays and then ejects. But if you just close it normally, it doesn't stay. So you have to kind of pull it on a certain direction. And that's because this little tab right there is not grabbing on. It looks like it's worn. I may be able to melt it with a soldering iron and kind of squeeze it a little bit longer, make it a little squisher, longer, or I can add some kind of bonding to the end. We'll see. But yeah, just want to see if that'll fix up. And then we'll try to run through various functions here, because I'm not sure what this message button does. Really don't know. And I mean, tape, FM, AM is no problem. An alarm should be no problem, but the message thing should be interesting. And okay, so we'll give that a shot. Okay, so it turned out a bit of a soldering iron heating up this little thing here and squeezing it changed the shape of it. And now it's hanging on. See, I don't have to do anything. It's closing the lid. No problem. Okay, so let's put this all back together. Okay, so we have it back together. I have a tape in here. Okay, and we're gonna test it out. Okay, let's turn it on. It's on AM right now.
At 1 this afternoon.
You can hear it.
Directors in radio are men.
The tone changes.
Explain why no one
High.
has ever thought of a show quite like the
Low.
XX, my weekly 1 hour.
Not a huge change in tone. Remember, there's only one speaker here. Let's go to FM.
As the golden age.
Okay, FM works fine.
Category is wait.
And now tape. Now there is a little bit of a noise on the tape. I'm not sure what that's from. You can hear it. You hear that? There's something buzzing there. But let's play the tape and try to figure out what's happening here. Something's definitely up with the tape. I'm getting some kind of noise on here. And it could be one of the wires, when I put it back, is overlapping something. I'm gonna have to open it and check to see why my tape has that hum, because it shouldn't be that way. See, now it's on, no hum. Interesting. So I had to turn it on and off. Oh, there it started again. Off. Okay, not there. For a second it was there and then it stopped. Not really sure. It changes depending on how I move this around. Oh. Interesting. Yeah, it's good. Okay. Yeah, I gotta find out why that's humming. It's strange. It's like something is over top of the tape circuit. So one of the wires heading to the cassette mechanism. Okay, we're gonna open it and see what's going on. All right, interesting. It actually has to do with my phone. Watch, I'm gonna turn this up. Watch what happens when I move my phone away. It stopped. I mean, watch. Let's try that again. See? It's picking up interference from this phone. Something with the Wi-Fi or whatever cell signal is doing it. It's strange. Go close. See? Now it's stopped. Get closer. Interesting. It's not my watch. Then it stopped again. So yeah, something weird. Something with my phone, which I've never seen before. So yeah, it's not shielded from some RF here, but let's play it. Okay, no problem there. Flip it around. Play a cassette again. Come on, get in there. All right, again, hopefully YouTube will not detect the copyright on that little bit of music. Okay, I'm gonna put this back in the stand then, and we're gonna try out some functions. So let's just do a quick alarm test here. Okay, first we'll set the time. So this is slow and fast, so I'm gonna just set it to there, 7:59, and where's our alarm? Alarm is set to 1:01. Let's do fast here. It's 7, right? So we can do this at 8. Let's put that to alarm. 7:59. Oh, now it's 8. Okay, let's do 8:01. Turn message off here. 8:01. Yeah, you can see here, it says alarm, that little dot. It's gonna go to, let's do tape, see what happens. Will it actually play the tape? Come on, quickly. Okay, so it's set to 8 o'clock. Alarm is set to 8:01. The little dot is on alarm. Alarm, tape. Let's see if it will start playing on its own. I highly doubt it, because you have to actually activate this thing mechanically, so I don't think that'll do it. It might do FM and AM though, but let's see what happens. Again, I don't think it will play the cassette because I see no way for this to be pressed in mechanically. Yeah, so alarm on tape is just a buzzer. Okay, and then snooze. Okay, that answers it. Now, let's set the alarm. It's 8:01. Let's set the alarm to 8:02. Come on. There. Alarm is 8:02. Right now it's 8:01. Alarm set to 8:02. Okay. And I have it on FM. Let me just hear what that sounds like. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so it's on alarm. I'm not really sure what auto is, but okay, we'll find out. So let's see if will alarm buzz or will it go to one of these things? Maybe it has to be on auto for it to actually activate the mode. But at 8:02, which should be coming up very soon, we should get FM starting to play. Okay, I'll take this out for now. And see, 8:02, nothing happened. Okay, let's try 8:03 here. Message is still off. I don't know what this message thing is. I really don't. Strange. There is a light here too, that I have not seen that light up yet at all. There is a microphone, so you can record to this thing. But again, I don't see any way for this cassette mechanism to actually play anything because there's no, it has to be engaged, right? The playhead has to be pushed in, and there's nothing in here that can actually push the playhead in to play the tape. So I don't think the alarm can actually activate the tape mechanism, but let's see if it activates the FM. I have it on auto, which again, I'm not sure what that is. 8:03, nothing happened. Okay. So I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Let's do sleep timer.
So I am looking forward to seeing.
Okay, that's the sleep timer. And we can just fast this.
Wishing you all a very, very happy Diwali.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you can time down the sleep timer. There. 1 minute left. It should turn off the radio in a minute. Okay. Again, I still don't know why it didn't activate the radio, but we're gonna figure that out. And I don't know what this message thing is, but we'll figure that out as well. I'm gonna get a blank tape in the meantime so we can test out the record function. Oh, there it goes. 1 minute passed. Sleep timer is now at 0 and the radio turned off. Okay, so let's do this again. Alarm, let's put it on alarm. Alarm, what is this alarm off thing? What do? Hold it down and the alarm turns off. How do we get rid of this thing? Alarm / off. I don't know. Okay. Alarm is set to, oops, I don't want it to be at 06. Well, let's just set the time 1 more minute over. Time. Okay, it's now 8:05, let's say. Alarm is set to 8:06. Alarm, put on FM, or AM, sorry. Okay, and let's see if the alarm, there it goes. It turned on. Although it's got this weird buzz. I don't know why. It's alarm and it sets it to the buzzer and the radio. Okay, let's try this again. Off. Auto. Okay, alarm is now on. The time is 8:06. The alarm is set to 8:06. Let's make it 8:07. Come on. There, 8:07. Okay, this is now on auto, not on alarm. When I had an alarm, I heard the buzzer and the radio, which is kind of weird. Not very pleasant to wake up to that. But let's see if having on auto will actually turn on just the AM and not the buzzer as well. Yeah. See? That's what it is. Okay, let's try it again. To turn it off. Here, we snooze it. Snooze. Okay, okay, let's go back to auto. I'm gonna put this back to AM, or sorry, FM. And the time, 8:07, alarm. Let's set the, okay, let's move the time to 8:08. Come on, there. Time is 8:08, alarm is set to 8:09. All right, it should go on to FM without that buzzy sound. That's, you know, when it's all the way over to alarm. And because last time I tested it on FM, I didn't get anything for some strange reason. But the AM worked. So not really sure why. So we've covered the sleep function. We know what time slow and fast do. They set things, alarm, slow and fast sets the alarm, snooze we've seen. Basically all the functions so far, 809. No FM. Strange. Time, 809, alarm, 809. So funny enough, it'll turn on to AM, but when I have it on FM, it doesn't turn on the FM with the alarm. Why? I don't know. That's just weird. All right, let me come back here with a blank tape and we'll see what this recording stuff does. All right, I'm back with the blank tape. Let's just cue this up a little bit so that it's got right up to the magnetic side here. Getting there. Big leader on this thing. Okay, here we go. And let's try to record something. On. Now let's go to tape. On. I don't hear the buzzing, which is a good sign. All right, pause. Okay, there's a mic here. We're gonna try to record something. Here we go. Unpause. Okay, it's rolling. Hello, hello, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Okay, gonna rewind. Play. Okay, it's rolling. Hello, hello, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Okay, it recorded. Now, again, I don't understand what this message button is, unless it's for somebody to just say, I left you a message. But does this pause? Again, mechanically, I don't think it'll work. We could try something else. Let's try pressing play and going to alarm and going to tape. Okay, it's off, but it's hitting that. Technically speaking, if I have it in play and all it has to do is activate this with the alarm, it should start to play. Because mechanically it's set, it just needs to get the motor turning. So let's see what happens. Time is at 8:11, alarm. Let's go up to 8:12. Come on. One more, there. Nope, one more. Okay, it's set to 8:13, alarm. Right now it's 8:12. Message is on, I don't know what that means. Let's put this on auto because I don't want the alarm to buzz. I wanted to actually activate the tape. It did AM, it did not do FM for some strange reason, but let's see what happens with tape. I have this in play. So theoretically, if it turns on, we should see this transport mechanism start to turn if all it's doing is sending voltage to the motor, as if you just switched this on. You know, it should theoretically just start playing if I go on. So let's see what happens. Wait a minute here. And it'll play the tape, I hope, but I don't know. It'd be nice if there was a manual for this thing somewhere online. So we could, 8:13 started, and as you can see, nothing is on. Tape definitely did not activate. If I do this though, it's rolling. See? Hello, testing. That works. So for some strange reason, it's not activating tape and FM, but it will do AM. Okay, let's test this some more. Time. Oh, here's another. Let's try this. Tape on sleep timer. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna have to put another tape in though. That has about a minute worth of stuff on it. I'll turn down the volume though so it doesn't activate. Okay, Sleep timer. Let's go down. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so it's playing the tape. See, it turned off. It did turn off. When the sleep timer basically turns off, it turns off the tape. You see? So it worked. Or, see, it just stopped. So sleep timer will shut everything down. It will shut down FM as well. Let's do that again. At the exact minute mark. Okay. All right. And it will shut down AM at the minute mark as well. All right. Let's keep going. And yeah, at the 0 mark. But why doesn't the alarm turn on anything other than AM? That I don't know. Let's do it again. Okay, 8:15. Alarm is set to let's do 8:16. 8:16. Alarm AM. No, let's put it on FM. Let's see what happens. 8:16 FM. And waiting. Okay, it worked.
Free bowl filled with love.
Unfortunately, we have that alarm tone. So let's go back to auto here and do that again. So it did work when I had an alarm, but it had that weird buzzy sound, which is weird. Okay, time. Let's set the alarm to 8:17. Now it's on auto again, FM. And let's see what we get. See, I don't want that buzzy, weird alarm sound in the background, that buzz, that humming sound that you heard. And when I had it on auto, I didn't get that. But the FM didn't turn on either. So that was kind of strange. I'm gonna test it with the tape too then and see what happens, because it seems to have activated. Okay, so see, 8:17, it's on auto. Oh, there it is. I had my volume all the way down. We'll put it this. Okay, so it works. Okay, you know what? That gives me some hope that tape works. Let's go to alarm and set it to the next minute. Come on, 18. Yeah. Okay. And put the cassette in here on play. Okay. It's now 8:17 and alarm is set to 8:18. Okay, let's see what happens if it activates it. Okay, getting there. There, 8:19, nothing happened. Didn't activate the motor. Strange. Very interesting. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on with this thing, but the radio does activate depending on when it's set to auto. It seems like FM and AM activate, tape does not activate, and the message may just be something for you to turn on and off, unless message has to be on for the tape to function. That's another idea. Okay. Okay, the alarm just went on at 8:20, but the AM FM didn't turn on. Okay, let's try something.
Testing. It's rolling. Hello, hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3, test.
Okay, so one other thing I just realized is that even when this is off, the tape will work. If this is set to tape. You see? So that's interesting. I don't know whether this has to do with just the alarm function or the whole unit, but it will work. It sets the radio on and off, but tape can be off and it'll play.
Okay, it's rolling.
Okay, message on, auto, tape. Time set to 8:22. Play. Okay, now it's not working. It's on auto. Time is 8:21. Tape, message on. Alarm is going to go on at 8:22. And let's see what happens now. Nope, still nothing. So, doesn't seem to be related at all. Interesting. All right, I think I've tested this thing enough. Without a manual, I have no idea whether it's functioning properly or not, but play works, record works, the alarm seems to work. It does activate AM and FM, although I've had some mixed results. I don't know what the difference is between alarm and auto, except for that alarm kind of makes a buzzy sound and auto doesn't. Tape works when it's off still. On turns on the radio. And that's it. So I think that's as much as I'm going to do right now with this radio. We got it working, setting, things are more or less functioning properly, and the time is working okay. And but it was a fun project. You can see it's come back from being neglected for many years, and I'm glad that it's got a new lease on life. And quite a rare item. If anyone has any information on this thing, like a manual, please let me know. I'd like to know what all these things actually do. I may be mistaken on what the message is and how the alarm and auto work. But if you have any comments that will help us out, please let me know. But again, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and subscribe, and catch you next time. Bye for now.